back to my channel. So today I wanted to do this story time video with you guys because I was like, why not? Like, I just did my hair and my makeup, and actually did a video of how I do these curls, so check below how you could find out how I did them. And so anyways, so I'm going to be sharing with you guys a video story that really haunts me, like even today, because we almost died. Like seriously, I thought we weren't gonna get through that day. That moment I thought, oh no, like I'm too young to die. And so I was like, dang, like I'm gonna die. And so anyways, let's start like from the very beginning, from that day, because even from the start, like it was like seriously really bad, that starting that day. So we had a trip planned to Vegas, and for all of you guys that know, we usually go to Vegas like a lot. Like, well, recently now we haven't been going anymore because of what happened, but like before we used to go a lot. I woke up, I had like this like strange feeling, like from all the other days. I was like, I didn't feel good, and like I was like, I don't know, like a little out of it. And so I packed everything up and we went to the gas station. There was this guy, and he just kept looking at us, and my dad was putting gas, and like he just like kept looking at my dad, and then like we're like, what the bleh? But then we just put it off. But then like he started getting like closer and closer, and like he wouldn't like say, oh, give me $1 or anything. Like he just kept looking, staring, and then we're like, what the hell? And so like my dad, he was like, oh, you want $1? And like the guy like just kept looking, like he just like non-stop, like just like dead in the eyes, like kept looking at him. So we were freaked out just by that. And so when we got in the car, we were driving over there, and the car, it wasn't like working that much. And they have it's a Lexus that my parents own, and like that Lexus, like it's never failed them. It's never like, it's been like their go-to car, because like they've had like so many cars in like in our lives. Like so many cars have gone and come, and so the Lexus, that's like our family car that we always used to go anywhere we went. Like we went on the Lexus. And so it was like doing like weird noises, and so my dad, he was worried because it's 4 hours away from LA. So we're like, you know, we already got the room, like we're gonna see what happens. So then after, on the road, we stopped by, I hope I could get like a picture, but we stopped at like we didn't stop, but there was like a lot of traffic, where in the middle of going to Vegas and LA. It's called what is that called? I forgot, but I'll put it like big right here. I'm sorry guys, I'm like bad at names. And so so there was like a lot of traffic. And if you guys don't know my dad, but my dad is like really impatient. And so he got out from the freeway, and he wanted to do like little shortcuts, because he always does this. Like he always does like little like shortcuts. And so he started, because there was like 2 more cars with him, and so like they started going also. And so, you know, like there was like, okay, let's say right here's the freeway, you go like that, and it's pure desert right there, like, because it's like there's nothing right there, and so it's pure desert. So he goes like this, and then he goes like wanting to go that way, but over here, let's say it's the mountains, and there's a train that passes. So he didn't want to wait no more, so he just went, and he thought it was a shortcut, and so he just went, and until like there wasn't no more road, like it was just dirt. And so like he was freaking out, and other people, like, so there was like in total 4 cars that they followed him. And so one car, when they returned, because like there was no more road, and like it just looked like not good, you know, for a car, you know, because you know your car, the tire could explode, you know, if there's like a nail or something, glass or something. So like my dad, he was like, no, we're too far already to go back, and it's just gonna waste more time. But like he should have just done that. But anyway, so like he just keeps going and going and going, and like I was trying to GPS like a way out of there, but like the phone wasn't working because like it was in the mountains. And so he gets on top, because there was one way to go up and the other way to go, you know, straight. And so like I don't know why he wanted to go like up, because he saw like down was like not that good and up was better. And can you guys believe, when he goes up, we're face to, like we were right next to the train tracks, and we're like, oh shit, like we are next to the train tracks. If a train comes right now, we're gonna be like so close to the train, and we're freaking out. We're like, please, 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 like no train comes, because we're like, you know, anything like the train could have. And then that, you know, like it was scary. So then after like he just kept going and going, like he wouldn't turn back, because that's how stubborn my dad is. So but like 2 cars, so in the end like only 2 cars actually followed him like all the way. So these 2 cars actually witnessed like the same thing as us, so it's scary. But so can you guys, so anyways, he's driving, there's no signal on my phone. I was like, oh my god, like we're gonna die. And so we see the train coming, and like we couldn't even go back anyways. And like we told him like, Dad, like just stay, like go more further, like, well, you couldn't go, like you couldn't move. It was just right here was the car, and then right here was the train. So like the train just went by us, like they just went by us. And so we were so close to the train that I could literally take out my hand, touch it. But I was freaking out. And like we should have filmed that part, because we had the camera, because we were vlogging. But like we didn't vlog, we didn't do nothing, because we're so freaked out. We're like, no, we're gonna die today, like today is our last day of life. So and then so like we told him like, go more on the side and just stop, because you know anything, like the train could have anything, and you know that, you know, something could happen. And so like he didn't listen, like he kept going. So we're like right next, like going right next to the train. And so that was like the scariest thing that happened to me in my life. Like I thought we were gonna die, like honestly I was like, oh my god. But then like he couldn't go back anyways, like no matter what. Like when he went up that hill, like see, that's when life gives you like different choices that like he could have taken the up or just that way, and there was like a fence, so he would have had to go back, or he could have taken up and see what would happen. And so like those are choices in life. And for me, I would have just gone back. Being me, I wouldn't have gotten out the freeway. I would have just stayed there until that traffic slowed down. I'd be like, I don't care. But anyways, and then so when there was like a lot of rocks there, and it wasn't just like plain dirt, like no, it was like a lot of rocks. And so when the train finally passed us, we're like we're at least like, oh, at least we didn't die. That finally like got off from there, because like luckily, thank god, like there was like a road. And because my GPS finally worked, and so like we found like this little road that led to the freeway back again. And so from there, from the freeway, like there was no more traffic. But like still, like it messed up the car, because after when we went because I guess like the rocks messed up the car, because they were like big rocks. They're like this big, and like their Lexus, like a big ass Lexus. But like I don't think that kind of car is for you know, for the dirt or rocks and stuff like that. So when we finally were on the freeway again, we were all like, oh, thank God, like nothing serious happened, that like we just got out of there. And so like I was like, thank God, but like the story doesn't end there. And so like we were driving and like we were almost to Vegas. We were like half an hour away from Vegas, and the car turns off, like, and like it's like starts turning off, and like smoke starts coming up from the front of the car. Then after, like my dad, he was freaking out. He was like, oh no, like smoke is bad when it comes out. And they're like, oh, maybe, you know, it just overheated, because that day was super hot. And so he was like, oh, maybe it overheated. So like he pushed it. Like there was like this abandoned houses, like they're like mobile homes, and they're like super abandoned. And so we stopped right there, and we're like we just waited like maybe 1 hour. And like after the 1 hour passed, we got in, and it started like shaking and shaking. And my dad knew that, you know, he couldn't take it to Vegas, that we had to find an auto shop, body shop right there, because the car was like ruined already. So he was like, you know, I hope that the car doesn't, you know, just stop, because we had to go to the auto shop. And like there was one, but it was like an hour, no, it was like 15 minutes away. And those 15 minutes, I swear, they were like one of the longest 15 minutes I've ever had, because we're like freaking out. We're like, man, if we don't make it there, like what's gonna happen? We're gonna have to push all the way to right there, or we're gonna have to call a tow truck, which will be expensive. And so when we go to the when we finally arrived to the body shop, like they just gave us like bad news, like right away. They're like, no, this car got ruined, this car needs this and this and this, you can't go home and until the next day, because they had to order some parts. And then they're like, no, like you can't go home in this car. And we were like literally 4 hours away from the house, so what were we gonna do? And so he was saying that it was gonna be like 2,000. And then like my dad, he just kept thinking, oh, maybe overheated. And so we were like, you know, the trip to Vegas is over. So he was like, no, we're not gonna go anymore because the car is ruined. And how are we gonna take the car to Vegas if it's ruined? So then we were like, no, we're not going to Vegas no more, like for sure. And so my parents were actually thinking of staying there, and they were gonna fix it. But like the guys there, like they were like a little fishy. Like we didn't really trust them, because like some people also, they would tell them the problem and then they would just leave, like they wouldn't fix it with them. So then we're like, you know, my dad, he was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take it, even though it was shaking, it was doing all this stuff. He's just gonna drive back home until, you know, the car turned off or anything. Because like it would be okay if it was just like 2-3 people, but it was all of us. We're 7, so we don't all fit in the tow truck. So we'd have to get Uber, we'd have to get a taxi, something, because not all of us will fit in the car. So that was one of the problems. But so we took it out from the body shop, and he just drove, and he was like saying that, you know, I hope it makes it 15 more minutes. I hope it makes it 1 more hour. I hope it makes it at least 5 more minutes. And so can you guys believe that, like, the Lexus took us home, like all over here. And then I was like, oh my God, like our poor Lexus, that we've had it since I was like a kid. And so I was like, man, like it really took a bad, it was like really a bad day for our car. So like they took it to the body shop, and they fixed it. It was just like this little problem it had, that because it got overheated. So it was just like this minor problem that cost him like maybe like $500. And like the body shop over there near Vegas wanted to charge them $2,000. And so luckily, like my dad, he's like really like he like wants to take the risk, because I know I wouldn't take the risk. I would have stayed there, paid the 2,000, be crying, be like, you know, stressed out. So I mean, it really took a lot of guts, like, for them to even think about getting back in the car, and it was like shaking and shaking, and coming back home and so all those 4 hours were crazy. But luckily we came back safely, so I'm glad that nothing happened, because I know that I would be freaking out. I would be like, I don't know like what more that day was like super horrible. So yeah guys, like, if you guys get like a bad feeling about something, like, it's better like to trust your instincts instead of like going through like a whole bunch of chaos. Cause like, you know, when my dad got out the freeway, I was feeling a little bit like uneasy. I was like, man, like, I don't know about this, like, I don't know if this doesn't feel good. And so yeah, like, that was like really horrible. So I wanted to share with you guys this story time video, and I know that you guys are like I couldn't believe it. Like, I can't believe that happened to us. Like, still to this day, I'm like, oh my god, like, that day was crazy. But luckily nothing happened. We're still here, we're still alive. So, and like, nobody got hurt or anything. So I'm just so happy, and that we could, like, you know, just say that it was a story, like a crazy story, but like, that was my story. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I see you guys on my next video. I love you guys. Bye everyone. Woo. I see you guys later. Bye everyone. So much for watching. Like, I like this watching. Look at my hair. That looks crazy. So thank you guys. A thumbs up if you guys like this story time video, because man, like, this was a crazy ass. And look at my hair. And so that day was like really horrible. And so I wanted to share you guys, I wanted to